Good morning, students. I'm Dr. Dharmendra Bian. This is my third session on elementary theory of partition. That is unit 4 in theory of partition. In the earlier class, we discussed about some theorems on partition theories. So today class is very important because we have to take the partitions of a Q term in terms of a Q shifted factorial basis on, and also some more two theorems are there. Okay, shall we move on to the class that we can take that note. The first one is a very important. There is a 1 divided by QQM. So we have to restrict the terms of instead of the term infinity, we can take the terms of m. That can be written as in terms of q shifted factorial, that is 1 divided by 1 minus q square up to 1 minus q to the power of m. So this indicates in terms of a partition, that is enumerate partition of n into at most m part. You can observe terms of enumerate the partition of n into at most m parts. So the terms containing 1 divided by QQM. So there is no negative terms, only positive terms. 1 divided by QQM, that indicates enumerates partition of n into at most m parts. Similarly, we have to take the terms of if it is infinity, that is next one. 1 divided by QQ infinity can be written as, that is 1 divided by 1 minus Q square up to infinite term. That indicates enumerates a partition of n. So there is no restriction in the terms of partition. So that is enumerates a partition of n. The third one, so 1 divided by q square infinity. We can observe the terms here, that power of q is q square, both the terms of q square, that is even term. Okay, both are even term. So it can be written as the 1 divided by 1 minus q square, 1 minus q to the power of 4, 1 minus q to the power of 6 up to infinite terms. This can be written as in terms of a partition, that is enumerates a partition of n into even parts. Okay, partitions of n into even parts, 1 divided by q square infinity. Similarly, if the terms is 1 divided by q square infinity, we have to add that power here 1 and here 2, that is 3. So that is an odd power. So that can be written as, there is a 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus QQ, 1 minus q to the power of 5. That is enumerates the partition of n into odd parts. Okay. If the terms containing infinity, that is enumerates the partition of n. If the terms is when I have to add that power of q, that is even, it can be written as enumerates a partition of n into even parts. Here with the last one, we can observe the terms here 1 divided by q square. So when I have to add that power, that in terms q must, the power of q must be odd. It can be written as enumerates the partition of n into odd parts. So we want to restrict that infinite term, that is in terms of, instead of infinity by m here, 1 divided by QQM, that indicates enumerates a partition of n into at most m parts. We have to restrict that terms here. So that's why we can take that at most m parts. So these are all the denominator terms. Suppose these are all directly in terms of enumerates a partition of n into at most m parts. The first one. The second one is enumerates a partition of n. There is no restriction. Here the enumerates a partition of n into, because the power of q is even, n into even parts. So the last one enumerates a partition of n into odd parts, because the terms power of q is here, and to add the power of q, that is odd. So therefore this is the terms. Next, that is the terms is minus q infinity, that is in terms of numerator term only. Then so, and also with that negative sign here, it can be written as 1 plus q square, 1 plus QQ. By using q shifted factorial, it can be written like this, and this can be written as the enumerates the partition of n into distinct part. The previous one is not in terms of distinct, that is in terms of denominator term. If the numerator terms containing with the negative sign, it can be written as enumerates the partition of n into distinct part. Okay. Now I can take the next one. minus q square infinity. We can observe that add the power of q here, q square here q to the power of 1, that means q cube. So it can be written as the terms of 1 plus q, 1 plus q, 1 plus q to the power of 5 by using a q shifted factorial. So it can be written as enumerates the partition of n into distinct, and also we have to observe the power is odd, so this one is odd parts. Similarly, minus q square infinity is equal to 1 plus q square, 1 plus q to the power of 4, 1 plus q to the power of 6. So we can observe that power of q here, that is all are even. So it can be written as enumerates a partition of n into distinct and even parts. Here we can observe that odd parts here, distinct part here, the terms of 1, 2, 3. So there is no restriction, that is the terms is enumerates the partition of n into distinct parts. First one, if the power of this one is only odd terms, that is enumerates the partition of n into distinct odd parts. The next one is enumerates the partition of n into distinct even parts, because the power of q is even. So therefore like that. Similarly, the next one is very important. The terms is q to the power of n divided by 1 minus q square, 1 minus q to the power of 4 up to 1 minus q to the power of 2m. It can be written as q to the power of n divided by q square m. So this one is that if the power is not the terms here, in the previous cases, that is 1 divided by the terms is, it can be written as the terms of the power is q is there in the numerator. So we have to subtract with the terms of power of n. So therefore enumerates the partition of n minus 1 into even parts, because the terms containing q is here even, with each part is less than or is equal to 2m, because the power you can observe terms is each power is less than or equal to 2m, or it can be written as in terms of symbolically. Or the representation of 1 divided by q to the power of 5 infinity into q to the power of 4 q to the power of 5 infinity is the generating function for the parts is less than or is congruent to 1 modulo 5 or 4 modulo 5 is the generating function for the parts. But take each part that is congruent to 1 modulo 5 or 4 modulo 5. You can observe terms of, if the numerator term is minus q infinity, that is enumerates a partition of n into distinct parts. If the denominator part is there, that is 1 divided by with the positive sign, 1 divided by q infinity, that is enumerates the partition of n. Okay, that is the major difference between these two terms. So now to go through the next, the famous Euler's theorem. So that's it is not a combinatorial proof. Okay, observe terms of the theorem statement. The number of partition of n into distinct part. We can observe terms of the number of partition of n into distinct parts. This distinct part means that is minus q infinity is equal to the number of partition of n into odd parts. What is odd parts? That is 1 divided by q square infinity. You can observe terms is both the statement. So number of partition of n means that is a p of n, summation n running from 0 to infinity, p of n into q to the power of n, that is equal to here minus q infinity. And finally we can show that the terms of partition of that is summation n running from 0 to infinity, p of n into q to the power of n. What is p of n here? That p of n is that is number of partition of n into odd parts, number of partition of odd parts. So that is 1 divided by q square infinity. Okay. Proof the terms is, let when it define that p of n, instead of p of n we are using the terms of capital P suffix d of n. Terms is not instead of small p, we are using capital P because suffix is there. That's why you can take the terms of p suffix d of n be the first statement. B denotes the number of partition of n into distinct parts, that is minus q infinity. And p suffix 0, that is that odd numbers, odd parts, we can observe terms of odd parts of n, denotes the number of partition of n into odd parts. It is not capital N, that is a small n. So therefore, it can be rewritten as in the both that cases that is a small n. So typing error the term. So therefore, when I have to consider the first statement, the number of partition of n into distinct parts. So I have to write in terms of summation, consider summation n from 0 to infinity p suffix d of n into q to the power of n is equal to minus q infinity. That is minus q infinity. So we can expand the terms of minus q infinity, that is 1 plus q square, 1 plus q, 1 plus q to the power of 4, 1 plus q to the power of 5 up to infinite term. We know the terms of 1 plus q can be written as, that is a square minus b square is equal to a minus b into a plus b. The terms of a plus b can be written as a square minus b square divided by a minus b. Using that concept here, 1 plus q can be written as 1 minus q square divided by 1 minus q. Again, 1 plus q square can be written as 1 minus q to the power of 4 by 1 minus q square. Again, 1 plus q cube can be written as, the terms is 1 minus q to the power of 6 divided by 1 minus q to the power of 3. Similarly, in terms of 1 plus q to the power of 4, that is 1 minus q to the power of 8 divided by 1 minus q to the power of 4. The next one, 1 plus q to the power of 5 can be written as 1 minus q to the power of 10 divided by 1 minus q to the power of 5 up to infinite term. We can observe that numerator term, the terms containing even term, that is 1 minus q square, 1 minus q to the power of 4, 1 minus q to the power of 6 up to infinite term. We have to observe that denominator term, that terms containing both even and odd terms of power of q, that is 1 minus q, 1 minus q square, 1 minus q cube, 1 minus q to the power of 4, like that. So this mixing of the terms of both odd and even term. So therefore, when I have to take in the cross multiply, when I have to cancel the both numerator and denominator term of even term, so that is equal to entire numerator term vanish out, because the terms containing the denominator are also same. So 1 minus q square, 1 minus q to the power of 4. So the remaining terms is, it will be leaving the terms is 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q cube, 1 minus q to the power of 5. That is only in terms of odd term. That is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q to the power of 3, 1 minus q to the power of 5 up to infinite term. So by using the q shifted factorial, it can be rewritten as, that is here q is there and the shifted term is, that is a q square. Here are to observe the power of q, the difference between the power of q is q square. So therefore, that can be written as, that is 1 divided by q square infinity. We know the value of 1 divided by q square infinity, that is the partition of n into the n into odd parts. Can observe terms is, so therefore the partition summation n from 0 to infinity p suffix d of n into q to the power of n is equal to summation n from 0 to infinity p suffix o, that is odd parts of n into q to the power of n. When I have to compare that q to the power of n on both LHS and RHS, that can be written as, that is a p suffix d of n is equal to p suffix o of n, that is number of partition of n with distinct part is equal to number of partition of n into odd parts. Okay. So for example, I want to take that Euler's theorem example. Let n is equal to 2. When I have to take the smaller number, n is equal to 2, then the number of partition of n, that is p of 2 is equal to, that is 2, and the next one is 1 plus 1. So what are the distinct, each part must be distinct, means it is a different part. Okay, here the 2 and 1 plus 1, here the terms containing 1 plus 1 means it is not distinct, it is the same number 1 plus 1. So distinct part is, there is only one term, that is 2. So therefore partition, number of partition of distinct n, partition of n with distinct term, that is a p suffix d of 2 is equal to only 2. So therefore the cardinality of p suffix d of 2 is 1. Similarly, the next one is number of partition of n into odd parts. So that is p suffix o of 2, that is odd parts is, that is only one term, that is 1 plus 1. So therefore the cardinality of p suffix o of 2 is equal to 1. So which implies both the statements are true, that is p suffix the cardinality of number of partition of n with the distinct term is equal to number of partition of n into odd term. Okay. Similarly, next one, so we have to take the higher value. Suppose n is equal to 6, then the number of partition of n is p suffix p of 6 is equal to 6, 5 plus 1 is a non-increasing term, of 4 plus 2, 4 plus 1 plus 1, 3 plus 3, 3 plus 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1 plus 1, and next term is 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, the remaining terms are 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So then we have to find out the partition of the number of partition of n with distinct part. So what are the distinct part? We can observe here, that is 6, here 5 plus 1, so there is no repeated terms here. Okay, 4 plus 2 distinct term, here 4 plus 1 plus 1, that is a repeated term here. Here 3 plus 3, that is also repeated. Here the terms is 3 plus 2 plus 1. All the elements are distinct, and the remaining terms are, there is no terms because all are repeated. So therefore it can be written as the partition, number of partition of n with the distinct term are 6, 5 plus 1, 4 plus 2, 3 plus 2 plus 1. So therefore partition of the cardinality of partition, number of partition of distinct term is, that is 4. Next one, odd term. You can observe terms is partition of, number of partition of n with odd terms into odd terms. What are odd terms here? You can observe terms of, it is 3 plus, sorry, here 5 plus 1. You can observe terms is only odd terms, not even terms. Here 6 is even term, here 4 plus 2 is even term, here 4 is there, even term. So next, for the first term is 5 plus 1, the next term is 3 plus 3, the next one is, here 2 is there, you can leave the terms is, the next term is 3 plus 1 plus 1, and the remaining containing are 2, and the last term is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So there are only 4 terms. So therefore number of partition of n into odd terms, that they are 3 plus 3, 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and in terms of 5 plus 1, the last term is 1 plus 1 plus 1. We can observe the terms of with the color. So 6 is mapping to 3 plus 3, distinct parts is combined with the terms of odd parts. Next one, 5 plus 1 goes to 5 plus 1, again 4 plus 2 with go to in terms of odd number, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is mapping is 1 1. Again 3 plus 2 plus 1, so these two can be written as 1 plus 1, that is 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore all are equal. So therefore the terms of mapping is also 1 1, and it can be written as number of partition of n, the cardinality of number of partition of n with this, with odd numbers is equal to 4. So therefore the both are, the values are same, so the cardinality of both the elements are same, so it can be written as p cardinality of p suffix d of 6 is equal to cardinality of p suffix 0 of 6. But next we can take the, in the examination of point of view, this one is a combinatorial proof of Euler's theorem. You can observe here theorem statement, the same theorem, the number of partition of n into distinct parts is equal to number of partition of n into odd parts. Okay, the proof is the combinatorial proof we have to take in terms of number only. Okay, not bijective proof, that is a combinatorial proof. The given a partition of n into distinct parts, okay, if the number of partition of n into distinct parts can collect, we have to take, we can take the terms of distinct parts to odd parts, then we can take the next part is odd, conversely that is we have to take odd parts to distinct parts. So if the terms is a distinct parts, we can replace the terms of even parts by its to havels. Okay, another terms that is a half of the terms. If it is a even term means that is a 2m is there, it can be written as m plus n. Okay, that is we have to replace the value of 2m by m plus m. So replace each even parts by its two halves, that means half of the terms, that is 2m by m plus m, and repeat this procedure till there is no even parts are there. Okay. Finally, we can arrange the parts in non-increasing order. This will be the partition of n into odd parts. Okay, distinct parts. So now first we have to take in the distinct parts, and then finally we have to show that is a odd parts. The condition is when I have to take the distinct parts. If it is the containing even parts, we can split into odd parts. The terms of, for example, 2m can be written as m plus m. That is a half of the terms. So to take the illustration, that example, if suppose n is equal to 51, so 51 can be written as that is a 18 plus 12 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 3. So if the terms containing the color mark, that is 18, that is a even term, here 12 is also even term and 6 is also even term. So we have to compare with the terms of 2m. Here 18 can be written as 2 into 9. You can observe terms of, so that can be written as 18 can be written as 9 plus 9. You can, if it is a even term, you can split the terms is two equal parts. Say m plus m, that is 9 plus 9. Here 12 can be written as 6 plus 6. 7 is already your odd parts. Here 6 is a even parts, that can be written as 3 plus 3. Again, the similarly the remaining terms are odd, that is 5 plus 3. Again, the terms containing here in the middle term here, the 6 is a even number. Once again, it can be as the terms is split into odd numbers. So 9 plus 9 is an odd number. The 6 is there. 6 can be written as 3 plus 3. The first 6, the second 6 also can be written as 3 plus 3. And the next ones are odd numbers, 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. That is equal to, we can arrange the terms, arrange the parts in non-increasing order. That is, we have to take in terms of higher number to lower number. That value is 9 plus 9. Here the next highest number is 7, next number is 5, again the remainings are 3. So the overall that totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 3s are there, that is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So therefore, so when I am to taking the number of partition of 51 in terms of a distinct parts, that we have to show it in terms of a odd parts. Now to take the conversely, for the partition of n into odd parts, goes on adding the two equal parts until there are no repetition. That means there are the number must be in terms of distinct numbers. Finally, arrange the parts in non-increasing part, that gives rise to a partition of n into distinct parts. So to take the similar example, the finally terms of 51. 51 can be written as lastly, that is of 9 plus 9 plus 7 plus 5 plus 3, that is a 7 3s, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So what is the condition? The condition is adding the two equal parts. We have to observe here, adding, go on adding two equal parts. So what are the two equal parts here? The first one is 9 plus 9. Here the next number is 3 plus 3, again here 3 plus 3, again the terms is 3 plus 3. So after shading that number color here, that is the first one is 9 plus 9, that is 18. Next number is 7 plus 5. Again, that's the first two numbers are 3 plus 3, that is 6. Next is 6. Again, the next one number is 6. Next is 3. Here the terms containing, once again, that is a 3, 6 are there. So at first two 6 are we not adding. So therefore the first number is 18, 7, 5, they are all these things. Here the terms is the 6 is 6 plus 6, that is 12 plus 6 plus 3. Now, so all are distinct numbers, but we have to arrange the terms in terms of non-increasing parts. We have to take the highest number, that is 18, next highest number is 12, next one is 7, next one is 6, next one is 5, next number is 3. So when I have to consider the terms of conversely, that is a odd parts into distinct parts. Okay, number of partition of n into odd parts is equal to the number of partition of n into distinct parts. Okay, next one is when I take some problem. Show that the number of partition of n with no part is equal to 1. Terms is number of partition of n with no parts is equal to n. So what is the number of partition of n? That is, the partition enumerates the no parts is equal to n, that is 1 divided by 1 minus q, that is the power of q is not is equal to 1. So except the terms, the remaining term is 1 divided by 1 minus q square, 1 minus q cube, 1 minus q to the power of 3, so 4, up to like the terms is, except the first term, that is 1 divided by 1 minus q is not here. So that is the condition. So that the number of partition of n with no part is equal to 1 is p of n minus p of n minus 1. Okay. That is number of partition of n minus number of partition of n minus 1. Proof. Let f of n, there is a partition of n, number of partition of n, we have to call instead of p of n, that is f of n. Number of partition of n that have no parts is equal to 1. So that is, we have to show that f of n is equal to p of n minus p of n minus 1. Let's consider that condition. That is, the condition is f of n, the partition enumerates the partition of n with the terms of no parts is equal to 1. So the terms not containing 1 minus q, particularly the terms not containing 1 minus q. So therefore summation entering from 0 to infinity f of n into q to the power of n is equal to, you can observe here, 1 divided by 1 minus q square, 1 minus q cube, 1 minus q to the power of 4. The term not containing 1 minus q, that is the condition. Then we have to multiply and divided by what is the missing term here, that is 1 minus q. On right hand side of the equation we get 1 minus q divided by 1 minus q into 1 minus q square, 1 minus q cube. So the terms, or it can be written as, we can split the terms of the numerator term and the denominator term, that is equal to 1 minus q into 1 minus 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q square, 1 minus q cube. So that is the statement of 1 divided by the second term is 1 divided by the first term is q, and the shifting term or jumping term is q, that is q infinity. So therefore, so the second part can be written as, that is 1 divided by q infinity, with the terms is missing here, or it can be written as 1 minus q into 1 divided by q infinity. So we know the terms of partition, enumerates the partition of m, that is 1 minus q into, write in terms of Euler's theorem statement, that is summation n from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n. Now I have to multiply the terms here, 1 and with the terms of minus q, that can be written as summation. The first term is summation as n running from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n. The secondly, we have to multiply with the q, this n running from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n. Or we have to multiply inside the q here, it's free from n, so it can be written as summation n from 0 to infinity f of n into q to the power of n is equal to summation n running from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n. The first term is unaltered, but the second term is summation n running from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n plus 1. want in terms of q to the power of n. So that's why we are taking, we can replace the value of n by n minus 1 in the second summation only. We can replace the value of n by n minus 1 in the second series. It can be written as we obtain in terms is summation n minus 1 running from 0 to infinity. It will goes on RHS, that is summation n running from 1 to infinity. We can replace the value of n by n minus 1 plus p of n minus 1 into q to the power of n minus 1 plus 1. Here plus 1 and minus 1 get cancelled, that is in terms of q to the power of n. So therefore, it can be rewritten as with the terms of n running from 1 to infinity, not 0 to infinity, because n minus 1 is equal to 0 to infinity running from, or it can be written as the first one is unaltered, that's n running from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n minus summation n running from 1 to infinity p of n minus 1 into q to the power of n. We can observe the terms of when I have to substitute the value of n is equal to 1, that is a partition of n 1 minus 1, that is the terms is 0, that can be written as 1. P of 0 is equal to 1. When I have to substitute the first value n is equal to 1, that's a p of 1 minus 1, p of 0, so that is equal to 1. So with the terms is if when I have to taking the terms here, suppose instead of the terms of n is equal to 1 by 0, when I have to put n by 0 here, that is p of minus 1. What is the value of p of minus 1? We know the terms of p of partition of a negative term, that value is equal to 0. So that's why we can take the terms is this series is also running from 0 to infinity, because p of minus 1 is equal to 0. So without loss of generality, the second series is also running from 0 to infinity, because p of minus 1 is equal to 0. So that's why, so when I have to observe that all these series, the first one, the left hand side, summation n from 0 to infinity f of n into q to the power of n, that is equal to summation n from 0 to infinity p of n into q to the power of n minus here summation n from 0 to infinity p of n minus 1 into q to the power of n, because p of minus 1 is equal to 0. So without loss of generality, so instead of that value of n is equal to 1 to infinity, we have to take here n running from 0 to infinity. So in the terms, we can both the left hand side and right hand side, so n running from 0 to infinity, then we can compare the coefficient of q to the power of n in this series, that can be written as, you can observe here, this one is on the right hand side, this one is f of n, the left hand side there is f of n, and right hand side there is a p of n minus p of n minus 1. So it will get the terms of f of n is equal to p of n minus p of n minus 1. So this proves that problem. And the next one, next theorem, let p suffix d comma 3 denotes the number of partition of n into distinct parts and not the multiples of 3. If it is a distinct part, means that is a numerator term, that is a q shifted factor in terms of numerator term. Okay, distinct terms means that is a minus q infinity. Okay, that partition enumerates with distinct part, means that is only in terms of minus q infinity. Here with the condition not multiples of 3. So we know the terms of distinct parts, means it's a minus q infinity, it's 1 plus q square, 1 plus q cube. So the terms not containing 1 plus q cube, 1 plus q to the power of 3, 6, 1 plus q to the power of 9, because that is a multiple of 3. So that is the statement. And the next statement, let p of s comma n denotes the number of partition of n, with parts belongs to s, in terms of with parts belongs to m. So the terms not containing distinct means that is 1 divided by something, that in terms of q terms only. Okay, what is s? Where s is 1, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, like the terms is, that is the partition of the in terms of a q series, that is 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q to the power of 5, 1 minus q to the power of 7, 1 minus q to the power of 11, 1 minus q to the power of 13, like that the terms. That is the condition. Then we can prove that both the statements are true. That is p suffix d comma 3. P suffix d comma 3, that is number of partition of n into distinct parts and not the multiple of 3. That is equal to p of s comma n, where s is belongs to the set, that is 1, 5, 7, 11, where the number of partition of n is with parts belongs to s, that is 1, 7, 1, 5, 7, 11, that is 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q to the power of 5, 1 minus q to the power of 7 up to infinite term. Now, we have to consider the LHS side. The terms is, what is the condition? The number of partition of n into distinct parts, not multiple of 3. If the terms of distinct means, that is a minus q infinity. The terms not containing q 1 minus q to the power of 6, 1 minus q to the power of 3, 1 minus q to the power of 9. That is a multiple of 3. Let us consider summation n from 0 to infinity p suffix d comma 3 of n into q to the power of n is equal to 1 plus q, 1 plus q square. Here are to observe the terms of 1 plus q to the power of 3 is absent. Again 1 plus q to the power of 4, 1 plus q to the power of 5. Here also 1 plus q to the power of 6. The multiple of 3 is absent. That is the condition. Now we can taking the parts here. The first part is where with that base is 3 q to the power of 3. The first part is 1 plus q, 1 plus q to the power of 4, 1 plus q to the power of 7. That is the first set. And the another set is 1 plus q square, 1 plus q to the power of 5, 1 plus q to the power of 8. So therefore that can be written as that is the first part is 1 plus q, 1 plus q to the power of 4, 1 plus q to the power of 7. So that means it can be written as minus q to the power of 3, because the base is 3 here. We have to observe the shifted term here. Q to the power of 4 means that is q to the power of 3. Here also q to the power of 3. So minus q infinity, because infinite term here, into what is the second term? The second term is 1 plus q to the power of 2, 1 plus q to the power of 7, and 1 plus q to the power of 8. Here also that is minus q square. Here the shifting term is here q to the power of, the base is q to the power of 3 here. So it can be written as minus q square q to the power of 3 infinity. So it can be written as the first term is minus q cube infinity. The next term is, this term is minus q square q cube infinity. So therefore here the terms of minus q cube infinity, we have to multiply and divided by the with the positive terms, that is q cube infinity divided by q cube infinity into the similar concept minus q square q cube infinity into q square q cube infinity divided by q square q cube infinity. With the help of, we know the terms is minus q infinity plus q infinity is equal to q square infinity. When I have to multiply these terms here, minus q cube infinity into q cube infinity, that becomes the positive terms of, with the terms of even term. Here multiply the terms of the, we can add that power here, q that is q square, here 3 plus 3 that is 6. So it can be written as, that is the concept here, 1 plus 1 that is 2. Here also the base we have to add 1 plus 1. So that, so when I have to multiply these two terms, q cube infinity minus q infinity, that becomes q square q to the power of 6 infinity divided by q cube infinity into, here when I have to multiply these two terms, that is minus q square q cube infinity into q square q cube infinity, that can be written as q to the power of 4 q to the power of 6 infinity divided by q square q cube infinity. And also we can find out the, what is the value of q cube infinity. We have to split the terms of, with the help of the standard statement, aq infinity is equal to aq square infinity into aq square infinity. We have to replace the value of q by q cube. The terms is the base, we have to replace the terms is q by q cube. it can be written as a cube infinity is equal to a cube to the power of 6, because square is already there. When I am taking the square, that is q to the power of 6. Here a cube and q to the power of 6 infinity. You can call this one as equation star. So we have to observe the denominator term here, q cube infinity, here q square cube infinity. So we can replace the first term is a by q. When I have to replace a by q in star, it can be written as q cube infinity is equal to q to the power of 6 infinity into q to the power of 4 to the power of 6 infinity. And similarly, when I have to replace the terms of here a by q square, because the denominator another term is q square cube infinity, it can be written as q square q to the power of 3 infinity is equal to q to the power of 2 q to the power of 6 infinity q to the power of 5 q to the power of 6 infinity. Just we have to take in the terms of here, we can replace the value of a by q, the first term, a by q square is the second term of the denominator. So therefore, when I have to substitute that values, so that is q square q to the power of 6 infinity divided by q to the power of 6 infinity into q to the power of 4 q to the power of 6 infinity into, that is when I have to replace the second terms of the denominator, that is q to the power of 4 q to the power of 6 infinity divided by q square q to the power of 6 infinity into q to the power of 5 q to the power of 6 infinity. Here the terms containing the first term in the numerator term is q square q to the power of 6. The second term of the denominator first term, that is q square q to the power of 6 infinity, it will get cancelled. Similarly, in terms of in the second term numerator term is, that is q to the power of 4 q to the power of 6 infinity. The first term denominator is denominator second term is q to the power of 4 q to the power of 6 infinity. It will get cancelled. The only terms is, it will be appear q to the power of 6 infinity q to the power of 6 q to the power of 5 q to the power of 6 infinity. That is equal to 1 divided by q to the power of 6 infinity into q to the power of 5 q to the power of 6 infinity. That can be written as, we can taking the q shifted factorial expansion, that is the first term is 1 minus q to the power of 7. Again, you can add the terms of 1 minus q to the power of 13. Here the second term is says 1 minus q to the power of 5, 1 minus q to the power of 11. Again, next one is 1 minus q to the power of 17. The terms is, so, or we have to multiply the terms. Here it can be written as 1 divided by 1 minus q, 1 minus q to the power of 5, 1 minus q to the power of 7, 1 minus q to the power of 11. Likewise, the terms is, so therefore, these you can observe the power of q, that is the set containing in S. Okay, so therefore, we can show that finally, entering from 0 to infinity p suffix d of 3, a partition number of partition of n with distinct term, the terms not containing a multiple of 3, that is p suffix d of 3 of n into q to the power of n is equal to summation from 0 to infinity p suffix s of n. The terms of s containing 1 q to the s is 1, 5, 7, 11 likewise. So when I have to compare the coefficient of q to the power of n, that is equating the coefficient of q to the power of n, in the above equation we get p suffix d comma 3 of n is equal to p suffix s of n. So, at ending this session, thank you.